Hello, everyone. We're back again. This creative real estate resolution, little YouTube thing going on here. And y'all done figured out I'm not a good actor, so we won't go into that. But today we're going to talk about something pretty important. And I want everybody to listen because it is something that is affecting real estate industry across the country in a negative fashion at this moment. Uh, First off, we all know that for years and years, real estate appraisers were the defining determination of what a property was worth. Real estate agents would go out and set a price, and then the appraiser come out and say, well, no, it's worth this. And we had lenders that were relying strictly upon appraisers to make that determination. Now, an appraiser is certified, he's licensed, he's insured, and he's trained. And in fact, if you want to go be an appraiser, you're going to spend 2 years as a journeyman working with someone already licensed. And the purpose of that is for that appraiser to be able to convey the understanding to the new appraiser exactly what truly affects individual property values of houses, such as we've always looked at everything as being $1 per square foot in general. In this area, houses are selling for this much per square foot. An appraiser can go into much more detail, and he might say, okay, the granite in the kitchen will add X number of dollars to the value of this house. Or perhaps the upgraded carpet will add X number of dollars to this house. The upgraded bathroom, the upgraded kitchen, all these things will play into a value added for a real estate appraiser. And even today, if you're going to do a government loan of any type, they're going to require an appraisal to be done. And we all know that they're $450, $550 now. A lot of the large commercial lenders, they want these big expensive appraisals. And I mean, some of those appraisals are, $15 and $16 and $20 and $30,000. An appraiser was well worth the money, especially in a time prior to 2008 that people were doing all kinds of scandalous things and making money. And a lot of people went to prison. And I'm not advocating that. But what I want to draw back is the appraisers were truly the mandate on what any value was worth. They worked the areas, they understood the areas, they used the comps from the MLS databases across the country. I mean, in our region, in Memphis, Tennessee, we had the Memphis Area Association of Realtors. It was, everybody feeds data into this thing. The local governments feed data into this data bank reservoir of all this knowledge. And the appraiser would look at the database of knowledge, go out to the house, take pictures, look and see exactly what this one house, had to offer. He would compare it to other houses in the neighborhood and make a determination, what is this house really worth? So even then, the appraisers knew that just looking at the local area and saying, okay, in this little area, in this little area, in this little area, these are the average dollar per square foot. In some houses, they were just better houses. They were built better. You have standards of houses. I mean, if you pay $100 a square foot for a house, you get a $100 square foot house, right? If you spend $200 and you have all the crown molding all the way around and the special amenities to the house, then it's worth a whole lot more because it was more invested into the house. But how does a computer database know if a kitchen has granite in it? How does a computer database know that if it's got the crown molding up top and all these things? Because there's no fields for that. When the MLS data goes in, it's more about square footage. It's more about how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how big of a kitchen, what appliances are there, what are not there. Things like this, fireplaces. Does it have a pool in the backyard? Is it 2-car garage? Is it 1-car carport? All those things do play into value, but it still does not pick up the little things that really can alter the price of that value up or down. So an appraiser had to know the area and be able to look at the house. Real estate agents, understanding that when they list a house or when they sell a house, they know that it must appraise. The appraiser must say, okay, it is worth the sales price or whatever when it gets down to it, because the lender will loan based on what that appraiser says, not what that contract says. And many real estate agents have lost deals buying or selling a house for $100,000, and the appraiser come back saying, no, I'm only going to give you $92,000 in value. It creates a lot of headache. The appraiser typically, 99% of the time, hits spot on the appraisals. Okay, realtors understanding that. We learned a long time ago exactly what that appraiser was going to be looking for. The ones that were smart, we would go and sit down with people and with these appraisers and ask them, what is the criteria that you're looking for, and how is this affecting your overall value? That way, when we go out and sell a price, we're looking at that house, we're taking the walkthrough with the client, and we're seeing everything that they have to offer. What does this house have to offer a buyer? Okay, and then we can make those same adjustments that appraiser is making, and we understand then exactly what we're dealing with. Now, to take again, a simple database and say here, we can do the dollar per square foot. But there's other things that a realtor knows that the appraiser doesn't necessarily know. The appraiser probably would know if he looked at it, but it's not part of his criteria. His criteria is finding the real comps in the real area. Realtors are doing the same exact thing. In Memphis, we can have a street, and that property be worth $200,000, maybe $400,000, and then go literally one street over, so 1/10 of a mile away. So we got a very narrow pocket here, right? 1/10 of a mile away, and another house would be worth maybe 60,000, 70,000. And it's pockets like this all over the city here in Memphis and into the county around it. So you can pick up these huge houses, and in the same little geographical area, no matter how big it is, growing spring, have smaller houses that are simply not per dollar square foot comparable at all. A computer algorithm doesn't understand that. It takes a realtor to say, okay, I know this area because this is my farming area. This is where I live. I make it my professional job to know everything about this area. I will know the school districts. I will know the crime rate. I will know the transient rate. I will know the average time on market, the average time that a person lives in a house, because I'm going to continue following up. And about the time that it hits for that property to hit the market for sale, they're going to move on. There is actually statistical data supporting that. They will start sending cards. Are you looking to buy, sell your house? Are you ready to maybe step up in your house? So a realtor understands not only the house, he understands the local area. And he knows if some houses are not comparables versus those that are. And in the subdivision I live in, there's some really nice houses. And I have a nice house here, a lot of square footage, but it is not on the same par schedule as those houses. So my dollar per square foot is going to be less than what theirs would be. And they got all the crown molding and all the fancy stuff and all the amenities that was well built and everything else. And this is a custom house built, and it's still not worth as much as those houses. I know that because I'm a realtor, or I was a realtor. I'm a retired realtor, guys. It's still on the real estate firm. But understanding the local market is key when you're establishing what a property is truly going to sell for. Now, the appraiser is going to 99% of the time agree with you if you're even close. So we understand, realtors, trained realtors, understand the valuations better than anybody else except for maybe the appraiser. But we're all using the exact same data. Okay, that's the huge difference I want to draw a conclusion to. Now, what I'm trying to point out is that an algorithm, as I've already said, even in an MLS system, the computer can only do so much. It requires human intervention to look at a property and to be able to substantiate and to clarify what the true value is. Okay, what it's going to sell for, how long it's going to take to sell. If you list the next price, how long is it going to be? 30 days on the market. Maybe you listed a little bit more and it's going to be 90 days on the market. That's what a realtor is trained to do. So when you're out investing in property or you're going to buy your own house, you want to use the services of somebody who's the actual data, not the hypothetical algorithms of a computer system. And I'm not going to say that what these national platforms have done is wrong. It's not. It's just that the system is a computer-rated algorithm. It cannot do the things that is required to establish actual value. And if you go and look at some of these national websites, big websites, and they do a lot of business, and all the information, there's a lot of information there. And you would think on the surface, it looks right. You would think on the surface, it looks good. The bottom line is, when we do an analysis, a side-by-side analysis of a realtor, we took several realtor broker price opinions, took one appraiser, and we compared it to what two of these sites were saying was the estimated value of the property. And in one case, it was 60% more than what the actual value was. Now, from somebody buying a house that's going to live there, maybe that doesn't matter so much, okay? For an investor to have a purchase price or to think a property is worth 60% more than it actually is can be a devastating financial blow. And investors make mistakes. I would dare say that if I met with an investor somewhere and he said, I've never made a mistake and never lost money on a house, I would probably think in my mind, yeah, right. He's probably lying. Everybody wants to look good, and I understand that. I've lost money on houses. I'll make no bones about it. I've messed up, and I've done some pretty stupid deals in my life. But nevertheless, they're all recoverable. You just can't give up. You got to keep going. But using a computer-based algorithm is the worst mistake anybody can make when they're looking at an investment property, especially, and in my opinion, even buying or selling a house. And when you see a value that is 40, 50% higher, or even 20% higher, or 15% higher than what the true market value is, then there's a lot of questions raised. Well, why can't you get what the computer says I can get? Your house is not the same. It's not comparable. This thing is taking a broad-based comparison of everything within this radius, and it's either up or down or in between or upside down. And sometimes it's pretty close to being accurate. And we'll give credits where credit's due. It is a great program. However, it doesn't quite cut the mustard. And when I'm investing money, I like to see data. I'm a real big guy. I want my Excel spreadsheets. I want to forecast what's going to happen. I want to kind of know which direction this is going to go at the end of the day. Now, some investors out there, they're pretty savvy, and their thought is I can buy it cheap enough, it doesn't matter. And that may be true. You go into one of the Nashville submarkets up in Brentwood, Tennessee. If you don't pay over the listing price, you're not going to buy the house. So you're not going to be buying those cheap deals. Is it okay to pay more than asking price? Absolutely. Every deal is specific. Every deal has an exit strategy. You don't buy a house unless you know what you intend on doing with the house. I always had 2 or 3 options with a final stopgap option to bail if I had to. But understanding the values, understanding the data was critical in my decisions. And once I started doing that and really focusing on the values, I stopped making bad deals. When I went into it with a mindset of I can do this, and it doesn't matter, I'm gonna work it out, I made mistakes. And never fall in love with the property. That is an absolute taboo. I mean, it is a piece of lumber, bricks with asphalt roof on it. Buy it, sell it, fix it, whatever you're gonna do, rent it out, but do not fall in love with it, because that is the ultimate mistake that you'll ever make. And I could show you one address here in Memphis, Tennessee, and the bane of my life. It should have been the best deal of my life, and it actually became a nightmare for me for several years. Anybody that knows me knows exactly what I'm talking about. But all that said, use a realtor. And we have launched MLS BPO. And I know that there's a lot of companies launching similar sites now across the nation because everybody has identified the deficiency. We know what it is, we understand what it is, and we know how to fix it. We have launched a national MLS BPO website, meaning an investor from Chicago can send me a request in for a desktop broker price opinion, and in 24 hours, I will get him back a true investor-friendly realtor broker price opinion. And I say investor-friendly because they understand the investment game. Most of the people that I screen, about the only ones that really get approved to work in this with us is those that are actually investors themselves. Realtors should be investors themselves. When we went to the old CRS classes years ago, every realtor ought to be buying 2 properties because that is, in fact, their retirement income. Buy 2 properties and rent them out. And then by the time you get them paid off, you'll be in retirement. And then you have that steady monthly cash flow coming in lieu of maybe a 401k or a pension plan, because in real estate, we don't have that. We get paid a commission. And we either set the money back and save it, or we invest it in something that is going to generate money, right? Okay, cool. Everybody understands that. That's why we do this in the first place. In 2008, most every realtor I know lost most of the nest egg that they had saved. And that's why you have realtors now 70 and 72 years old still hustling real estate, trying to pay the bills. Not really a good idea. But on the MLS side of this, we can give you the assurity of value, a lot more so than any algorithm, allow you to make good decisions to where that you minimize your risk and your losses. And the service is really, really cheap. From all standard comparisons, if you go to a lender and the lender agrees, which a lot of lenders now are doing, desktop BPOs, and not requiring an appraisal. Okay, a lot of lenders are starting to do that. It is a growing thing because it is a cost reduction for everybody. So lender goes out, and they normally, you get charged $200 to $250 for a broker's price opinion from a professional realtor, and to do whatever they do. Our service is $99 a BPO, 24-hour turn. The only caveat is when you make a request, we're charging you because we want the investor to be vested in this deal. I don't want 100 BPOs of somebody kicking tires. If you want to pay for it, great, pay for it. And that realtor is going, after he sends the BPO report back and we get paid and everything, we send the information out. Everybody has everybody's connectivity, so the investor himself can actually talk to that realtor, work with that realtor if he chooses. I am not mandating that anybody work with anybody. Creative Real Estate Resolutions get zero compensation from any real estate transaction that occurs in the field. We only are the data link providing good information that has been vetted by a professional real estate agent that is investor friendly. And I personally, 90% of the time, will look at these things when they come in. We will have teams of people that I've trained that know what we're doing, that will look at these things when they come in from the realtor to make sure that it's on track. And we'll probably get 3 BPOs in to send to that investor so that he can get a broader picture perspective. That way we can make sure the data is close, accurate, and good. So that is the difference between the original appraisals. You have the broker price opinion, which is where agents typically will go out and take pictures of the property, take pictures of the neighborhood, do all the data and all that stuff. Then the desktop broker price opinion is what we're doing, is what most lenders are now willing to accept, is basically looking at the computer and seeing the true debt numbers and being able to go in and identify the true comparables, eliminating those that do not belong in that equation at all, and then being able to produce a document that is accurate. And that's a desktop broker price opinion. And that is where most things are going. Unfortunately, the algorithms of the computers of there's 3 major players in this area as I see it. They're good, but until they have artificial intelligence that is capable of thinking like the old noggin here, they cannot be accurate. It is mathematically impossible. I think that's the way they put it to me when I asked an engineer. He said, it's mathematically impossible for a computer to keep up with the human brain at this point. Now, in some things it's better, right? Something like chess. AI comes out, we can rely on those services. Until then, get a real broker price opinion. And I would appreciate you contacting Creative Real Estate Resolutions. We will strive to serve you properly. I've been investing for 22 years, and I do know the importance of a good BPO. So guys, thank you for tuning in. The like button is one on each side. I don't know which one. You know, I ought to look one day, right? I'm glad that you stopped in. My name is Kenny Medlin. I would love to help you, so stop by the Creative Real Estate. Call it the www.mlsbpo.com. And take a look at the website and roll through it. There's several opportunities for JV partnerships that I offer, training that we do, the BPOs that we do, the connectivity between realtors and investors. There's a myriad of things that we do because this is all focused on real estate investments. It's all focused on real estate investors. There's 28 million of us in this country, and there's only about 150,000 realtors out there that really know what we're doing. So guys, take a minute, take a look. Keep asking questions. Send me the questions if you have any. I'll try to answer them. And we're going to do some more videos here shortly that's got all kinds of little things on it. We're going to talk about all the different investing strategies. So there's a lot more to this site than just promoting the site. It's a lot more to it than making me look good, because I don't. I need to hire some nice looking lady to do all this for me. But until then, we'll continue doing this. So have a wonderful day. Happy investing.